What's going on, my fried shrimp? It's your boy Austin here, better known as Glowl on the World Wide Web, and today we're going to be ranking every mythical Pokemon as of right now, which is before the release of Pokemon Sword and Shield. So this is it. There's 21 of them currently, and shout out to Hoodlum Callum for creating this idea, I suppose, this layout and everything for this. Shout out to you. The links to download this will be in the description if you'd like to. If you'd like to take part and upload your own version, that'll be great. Now, the thing with mythical Pokemon is that in the games themselves, anymore at least, they don't really get any kind of love. You just go get a code and then you enter the code and you get the Pokemon, which is kind of dumb. It's honestly not that great. I guess the most they do for them is they'll give them a movie, which is great, don't get me wrong, because when I was younger, yeah, I mean, I still watch the Pokemon movies, so I'm not even trying to flex, but like, when I was younger, the movies were a big part as of my top 3. So like there's kind of a little spoiler there. But with Mythicals, for the most part, I feel like they don't get a lot of love in game or any of that. Like they're good Pokemon, but like you just download a code and get them. That's it. Very rarely do you have a event for them. You know what I mean? So like there's so much they could have done. So much more they could have done with these Pokemon that they just chose not to. I went ahead down on my phone and jotted down numbers 1 through 21 just so I wouldn't be sitting here confused of like what I'm looking at, because there is a lot going on right now. And we're going to start from the bottom, so let's just get right into it. Number 1, or I guess number 21, is going to be a Pokemon who I feel kind of doesn't get enough. Like, it's kind of ugly, to be honest. It's not anything that I was hopeful for. I feel like they could have done. Maybe they're not done with it. There's a chance they're not done with this Pokemon, but I feel like they probably are. There's a lot to it. I'm going with Magearna. Now, the reason I feel like Magearna belongs at number 21 spot is simply because like it's honestly kind of just like bland. They could have done more with the whole Pokeball aspect of it. They easily could have done more, but they just chose not to. They kind of left it there because they're like, look, it's a Pokeball, right? So Magearna, sorry bud, but you're down there. Your design's not the best. Like, your movie was Volcanion's movie, and I don't know, I just feel like you didn't really get what you wanted. The shiny is amazing. The shiny is one of the best shinies in Pokemon, I guess, in my opinion. But Magearna as a Pokemon itself, it's not anything to be hyped up about. Sorry, Magearna. Next is another Pokemon that I just kind of really never cared for. I don't really know why. I don't really know why I never cared for it. I just simply didn't. Let me go ahead and make some room down here for it. Move Jirachi out the way. Number 20 is going to go to Fion. As I said, like, it's just not... I didn't care for it. Probably because I never got it. I never had a Fion before. Or Fione, whatever. It's just kind of another one of those ones that's pretty bland. It's essentially just a remake of Manaphy, which Manaphy itself isn't that great, so they didn't need to remake one. I guess it's kind of cool with the whole baby aspect or whatever, but like, it's kind of iffy. It's kind of nothing great. Nothing's too serious. So that's kind of why I gave it to Fion right now. It's, I guess it was kind of cool how they introduced it with like Pokemon Ranger and stuff. But honestly, I don't know. Next is just simply another Pokemon I wish they did more of. That's kind of going to be the trend. Like, I would say 7 and below, like from 7 to 21 are Pokemon that are interchangeable, and for the most part they're just there because I didn't care for them. Like, I mean, it doesn't mean that I don't like them per se. I just feel like there wasn't enough done for them, and so they kind of got shut down. I'm giving it to Meloetta. Now, Meloetta is a great Pokemon itself, don't get me wrong. I like the idea, I like the form change and everything Meloetta has, but once again, it's just kind of there. There was an event, kind of, with the form change idea where you had to go behind that building and talk to one of the people, but I don't know, it's another one that kind of just hit the back road, nothing crazy. Now, of course, after I place all of them, I am going to clean it up, so you'll get a full final image at the very end. So this is kind of just like the rough draft of it, and then at the very end, you'll get the full fleshed out finished product where it actually looks kind of good. But as of right now, yeah, this is just it. So there's the last 3 Pokemon. It's Meloetta, Fione, and Magearna. Now, next is number 18. We're starting to get a little bit farther in, but not quite enough to where it matters. 18, like I said earlier, it's simply just going to be Manaphy. It was never anything crazy. I like the design of Manaphy, but Manaphy as a Pokemon itself, I don't really care for. Also, take note, my Photoshop is acting like a little scumlord right now, so just ignore the lag in my Photoshop. But that, whatever. Manaphy, yeah, you're down here. Like I said, you're just kind of You're a second Fion, and there's nothing too crazy about you. You look better than Fion, in my opinion, but as of a Pokemon, you're just kind of iffy. You know, sorry. Alright, number 17 is going to a Pokemon that I'm very disappointed with. It's gonna be Volcanion, and here's why. Simply, he's such a good Pokemon. Volcanion is really strong. Fire and water type, that right there in itself is just brilliant, right? And the movie, I don't remember it, to be honest with you, but I thought it was decent from what I can remember. It's just the fact that there was nothing to him. Like, he was just this Pokemon that just kind of came in. You know what I mean? It's like, where does it... Why? In Pokemon X and Y, they had that power plant. Is Volcanion in there? Will we ever get to know if Volcanion is actually in that power plant? Or will we just never know? Is that going to be a door that's locked? Who knows? Who knows if we're ever going to get there? Maybe in the Glowl region. Maybe in Pokemon Sword and Shield. If we do ever end up going back to Kalos. I mean, maybe Volcanion will be there. Maybe they'll give him some love, because it's a whole building just left with nothing in it. And it's a big building too. So clearly I feel like they meant to do something in there, but it was never unlocked. And if that's where Volcanion was, I'm sure he'd be higher in the list, because at least he had a place in the games where it mattered. Whereas these four didn't really. In the main series games, at least, they just, I don't know, Volcanion, I had high hopes for you. When they first announced Volcanion, I was excited. I was like, dude, this Pokemon looks absolutely sick. He looks cool. Fire and water, that's just a dope typing. This Steam Pokemon, it makes sense. And then they kind of just threw him under the rug and didn't do much with him, which is my problem with mythical Pokemon. Same thing for number 16. There was a way to get to him. There was a thing you could do, but they never implemented it, and you had to cheat to get it. And plus, for being a Pokemon like he is, he should have had more. He really should have had more, and that is Arceus. Now, come on, man. You're literally a god. You're literally a god of Pokemon, and you just kind of fell so short. Like, it did not matter to you what happened in the games. You didn't care. You didn't care about any of that stuff. Giratina is a better Pokemon than you are, simply for the fact that you failed. Like, nothing you did was cool. They gave him nothing. So, I guess for what I'm saying so far is it sounds like I don't have a problem with these mythical Pokemon. I have a problem with the way that Game Freak handled these mythical Pokemon. Does that make sense? So if you see like one of your favorites down there, and like if you really like Arceus because he's a god Pokemon and the lore behind him is dope, that's great. But in game wise, where he's not, he didn't do anything. Number 15 is a Pokemon that I actually did something cool with. I really enjoyed the way they implemented him. We're giving it's Meltan. Meltan is there. Now, the reason he is so down low, he is brand new, so I don't have any really much to go off of with him. Granted, you know, he's new, so he should be fresh and probably higher, you would think, but I'm not a huge fan of his design. I'm sure they're going to do more with him in the future because, you know, there's a lot they can do, especially with the rumored armor evolution and all that stuff. Meltan and Melmetal are right there. I just simply don't like Meltan's design too much. He kind of, obviously, is just like a Ditto with a nut and a wire coming out of his tail. I'm sure there's more, but I don't know. He's kind of, he's a lackluster in design-wise for me. The way they implemented him with Pokemon Go is really cool. I appreciate that. That was nice, but design-wise, just not a huge fan. I don't hate him. He is cute. He's a cute little guy, but he's not crazy. Number 14 is Keldeo. Now, Keldeo is another cool Pokemon. I actually really like Keldeo, but I dislike his movie. And the fact that the only thing that makes him good is his Resolute form is kind of iffy. I feel like, I don't know, Keldeo himself isn't too amazing. I like him, but I don't like him that much. His design is cool. I like the whole, like, he kind of reminds me of like an anime protagonist, if that makes sense. Like, he's not very good, but his drive and the stuff that he wants to do in the future and what he wants to do, his message is really good. So that honestly kind of saved him here. Now, granted, 14 is not very high, but he would have been a lot lower if he didn't have that drive and passion that Keldeo does. as far as the Swords of Justice go, which aren't on this list because they are not mythicals, they're a legendary trio. But as far as the Swords of Justice go, he might be my favorite of the three. So that's, I mean, good for him. That is a score. Like, so if we ever get to ranking the trios, I know he's not a part of the trio. He's a fourth one, but if we ever get to ranking them, shout out to Keldeo, of course. Once again, the trend continues. Number 13 is a Pokemon that they just haven't done much for. They just haven't done much for this Pokemon, and okay, this is a Pokemon that I have such high hopes for. I really hope that there's more to him. I really hope I get to see more of this Pokemon. Hopefully the movie saves him. It's Zeraora. I really like this Pokemon's design. He is like one of those Pokemon that are kind of designed for people to like. You know, you have like Lucario is one of them. Zoroark is one of them. Just a Pokemon that like is designed for people to like him because he's kind of humanoid. He kind of looks a little bit, you know, he looks like that, which I like. I want to be honest, I really like his design. He's arguably, design-wise, arguably one of my favorites. But we're not going off of just design. I actually, when we finish the actual product of this and I go through and like look at all of them and see if I am okay with where they're placed, he's one that might end up higher than someone else. So just take that into consideration. There's a chance that Zeraora will make it up higher because I really do enjoy his design. But like I said, there's just not much to him yet. You know, that's kind of a bummer, but that's just how it is at this point. There's really just not much to go off of. This Pokemon, design-wise, number 12, design-wise is pretty decent. I like him. It's Melmetal, or Melmetal, however you want to go about it. I really like him. Well, I mean, I say really like him, but he's number 12, so obviously I don't like him that much. If my stupid Photoshop would work, good thing I just bought a new computer that we're gonna put together. So hopefully Photoshop works better on that one, because you can see right now Photoshop is not happy with me right here. Anyway, Melmetal is number 12. He's a decent Mon. Oh, it's funny. He's like right above Meltan. The design-wise, I put him higher than Meltan because I like Melmetal's design better than Meltan. I think it just has more to it. He does remind me of a Reggie. So maybe, I was going to say maybe there's a point where he could be like part of the Reggies, but it doesn't, his name doesn't make sense. So it's just another one of those Mons where, you know, it's cool. I still don't have a Melmetal yet, so it'd be really cool if I get one and like work towards getting one and I finally got one. Like, that'll be great, but once again, kind of underwhelming. And I do feel bad kind of just saying, oh, this Pokemon's underwhelming. I don't think they did enough with them, because that's literally every Pokemon so far. I either dislike the design, they're underwhelming, or Game Freak just doesn't do anything with these Pokemon. And as you can see, there's a few left, and you can kind of see these are sort of like some of the bigger and more important ones. So we'll get to top 3 eventually, and you'll see if you can agree or not agree, I guess. This next Pokemon was a very big part of like the Pokemon I've liked in my childhood, so it kind of deserves to be about halfway. No, it literally is pretty much halfway through the list. I feel like he deserves it. He's nothing great, but he's not great as well. For in-game wise, this is probably the most they've done with one of these Pokemon. In-game wise, of course. I'm talking about Deoxys here. The Deoxys movie when I was younger was my favorite Pokemon movie. Destiny Deoxys, arguably probably one of my favorite movies of all time. When I was younger, of course, not anymore. But it was a good Pokemon movie. I'm not gonna lie. The fact that he's like not really evil, he's just looking for his brother, and how he's from space. He's a spatial Pokemon. That's really cool. The whole DNA thing, the way that the gang had to run from him, and like the Rayquaza fight was great. And then in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, they gave him the Delta episode, which, holy crap, thank you Pokemon for finally doing something good with that kind of stuff. Like, I appreciate it so much. But like, overall, I feel like halfway is a very good way to put him. He is another one that I could see maybe ending up higher in the final product once I like have him laid out and look it over. But as of right now, that's where Deoxys is sitting, and I feel pretty okay with it. Number 10 is arguably one of the cutest of these Pokemon sitting right here. I said one of the cutest. Granted, there are cuter ones than this one, but we're talking Marshadow. His Z move is absolutely disgustingly good, in my opinion. I personally really enjoy it. The animation for it is so solid. He's a cute little guy. Now, granted, this is another one that kind of got pushed under the rug. It didn't do too much with him. Like, who's Marshadow? I guess maybe that's the point of being mythical, is the fact that there's not much to him, but it makes him kind of forgettable in a sense. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I forgot Magearna was a Pokemon. Same with Fiona. I forgot about these two until I opened this list and I was like, oh, yeah, those two. Right? So it's like, it's cool. I understand the whole mythical idea, but I feel like they've been doing it kind of in a weird way lately, and I'm just not a huge fan of the way that they introduce new mythical Pokemon. I liked it better. Maybe it's because I was younger and I was like, oh crap, there's this Pokemon that's insane. It's got a whole movie about it, but how do I get one? How do I go out of my way and get one? Now, granted, I was like probably 10 or 12 or so like it was cool where now I can just look it up, you know what I mean? So maybe it's just age. Maybe age is a thing where like I don't feel like a lot of these are cool anymore, or maybe it's because Game Freak is doing a different way, a different approach to them that makes them kind of iffy. I don't know, but I guess that's neither here nor there. It's kind of just how it is, I suppose. I like Marshadow. He's a good boy. He's a nice little guy. Like, he's someone that, like, he's a Pokemon that if I was a real trainer, I would want a Marshadow. Just because of the way he looks, his design. He's a small little cute guy. I like him. I personally like the smaller, kind of cuter Pokemon. I don't know. I wouldn't want to travel the region with a giant, like, Aggron or something. Like, Aggron's a dope Pokemon, but it's not something I'd want to, like, travel the region with and be, like, my best bud. You know what I mean? Marshadow is one of those Pokemon. I would love to travel with a Marshadow, but he's just not up to par. I guess. I don't know. The Z move is great. His design is amazing. I think he's cool. I think he is very cool, but he's not better than the ones I have up here. So, oh boy. This next Pokemon actually has a pretty big spot in my heart. I am going to flex on you guys right now. I have a video that I uploaded forever ago. One of the first videos on my channel. It was a how to get the drives for Genesect and Pokemon X and Y. And I don't know why, but that video blew up. It's my most viewed video on the channel. It has like 500,000 views maybe, which is a lot to me. So he gets a little bit of a boost because of that, you know, because whenever I think of Genesect and me, that video comes up to mind. So, and like if anyone, oh, what's your most popular video? Well, it's the Genesect one. It's not even a good video. It's not a good video. I'll pop the thumbnail right there if you want to go check it out, but it's not a good video. But either way, I guess people liked it. I don't know what it is. It got a lot of dislikes too, but that's because it had a lot of likes. I don't know. Either way, flex, I know. But overall, the way that they implemented him in the game was really good. The whole idea of Team Plasma trying to recreate like the Mewtwo idea, all the lore behind him with being Kabuto, you know what I mean? That's really cool as well. He gets 9th place. I mean, we're in top 10 territory now, which is really important. I think top 10 is really good. So kudos to him. Kudos to Genesect. He's a good boy. I really like him. Overall, Team Plasma was a cool team. I personally like them. I know like there's some hate. And plus Generation 5, like Black and White, Black 2 White 2 are my favorite Pokemon games to date. So like him being in them also gave him a boost, I think. Because he's like, granted Meloetta is down here and so is Keldeo. But I didn't make good videos about them. Number 8 is another Pokemon that I liked because of its movie. I really liked how they played him out or whatever. We're going Darkrai. Darkrai itself is just a Pokemon that looks really cool. He's got some big legs though. I know they're not shown here, but have you seen Darkrai's legs? This man's wearing high heels on high heels. His movie was one of the more solid Pokemon movies. The whole idea with him and Cresselia, the fight between the two, one being good dreams, one being bad dreams, stuff like that. It's really nifty. How you had to travel to the island to get them. That's the kind of legendaries I like, where you have to go to a different area where you couldn't normally access them to get them. You know what I mean? That was really cool. But Darkrai, his movie was really good, I think. When I was younger, I watched a lot of Pokemon movies. I still watch the movies, so like, but I watch them frequently. Like, I would probably watch a Pokemon movie every week and just rewatch them. Darkrai's was one of my favorite ones to watch. This next one I like more so because of its design. Personally, I think it looks really good. I'm giving it's Shaman. Shaman is number 7. Shaman's a really cool Pokemon, especially Sky Shaman. The one downside about it is that it does have the flower that only works at a certain time of day. I think it'd been really cool if it was just a regular form change where you could keep it that way, or even an in-game like battle mechanic, or even just straight up an evolution. I know they don't normally evolve mythical Pokemon, except for Meltan and Melmetal, but if they would have given a form change like Hoopa and Hoopa Unbound, or if it was Shaman and Sky Shaman like that, that'd be really cool. I would have liked that arguably more, or even Meloetta's form. And don't forget, Deoxys has all those different forms, and Genesect has his plates, and Arceus has the plates. I like it, don't get me wrong, I like it, but I wish the reason it's number 7 is because I wish it was able to be Sky Shaman the majority of the time, if not all the time, or if it was a battle mechanic, or if the way you got Shaman, like Sky Shaman himself, was better. I really like traveling to the island, going down that long pathway just to get Shaman. That was really nifty. We're getting down to the final 6. We're getting there. We're getting real close to finishing this list. Number 6 goes to a Pokemon that also kind of had an advantage because of the way it works. I'm talking about Diancie. Now, it has a Mega Evolution, which none of the other Pokemon have. None of these other ones have this. So it does kind of raise it itself a little bit, but that's, you know, that's just that's a strategy it had. You know, it's like, hey, I'm gonna give myself a Mega Evolution. I'm gonna be better than all the rest of them. Now, granted, you're not better than the rest of them. You're numbered 6, which is still really good. It is a very pretty Pokemon. I really like its design. I don't know how I feel about the base right here. I think I would have liked it more if it had like rock legs instead of like whatever this is. Like, I know it's a giant stone, but like I would have preferred 2 like little legs sticking out here, like a ballerina dancer or something like that. They could have been made of stone or gems or something like that, but I feel like that would have fitted a little bit more. And then Mega Diancie itself is not a bad Pokemon. It's not bad, it's not amazing, but it's not bad itself either. And plus the whole fact it is a Mega is great. I really like Mega Evolution. Kind of hope they bring something like it back, or even it back itself. But we are now in Final 5 territory, and as you can see right here, here are the candidates for Final 5. Arguably the cutest of them all. I don't know if that's saying something. Like I said, I like cuter Pokemon, so that's just kind of how it is. I like cuter mons. They're cute. I don't know. Number 5 might be a shock to some of you because of who it is. Number 5 is Mew. I really like Mew. And the reason it is so high is because of the fact that it is the first mythical Pokemon out there. It's got that whole idea with him being under the truck and everything. Like, Mew's a good boy. I feel like the reason I do like him so much is because he's just the OG. When you think mythical Pokemon, Mew is probably one of the first ones you think of. 4th place is going to go to someone that I literally just changed right now. I was looking at these 4 and I was thinking who I liked a little bit less than the other. 4th place is going to go to Victini. For the longest time, I kind of thought I liked Victini a little bit more than I did. And I think it might have been just because I was like a Gen 5 fanboy in a sense. I really like Generation 5 and Victini's in Gen 5. The design's adorable. V-Create is an amazing attack. It's just simply last minute, I kind of felt like I liked a different one a little bit more. Now, don't get me wrong, Victini is great. It's adorable. Victini is another one of those Pokemon that if it was real life, I would like to have a Victini. I think it'd be cool if I had to pick a mythical. Victini would be a partner of mine that I would pick. We're down to final 3. We have Hoopa, Jirachi, and Celebi. And all of these Pokemon are great. These are the final 3 standing. They're the 3 that haven't gotten shut down yet. In 3rd place, I'm giving it to another Pokemon that I really like because of the movies. There is another reason why. So back when Heart Gold and Soul Silver was released, you know those the Pokewalker, right? I had one of those. And there was a Pokemon in my Pokewalker that I kind of just had it in my Pokewalker because I thought it was cool. I don't know why. I always had that same Pokemon in there, but I did. And, you know, I guess it was elementary school, so, like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have been playing on it, but I was anyway. During class, and my teacher took it, and I never got it back. So, my 5th grade teacher still has my Jirachi. He still has my Jirachi. Maybe one of these days I'll be able to get a Jirachi and a Pokewalker again. Maybe. Probably not. But he was my boy. He was always with me. Maybe I thought it was like a good luck charm because it's like the Wish Pokemon or something like that. I don't know what I was thinking, why I always had Jirachi in it, but I did. And I never got it back. Never got my Jirachi back. And so that leaves final 2 with Celebi and Hoopa. Now, number 2 is going to be... I have to give number 2 space to my boy Hoopa. I really like this Pokemon. I like the design. I like how he's so mischievous and just such a cute little Pokemon. He is always kind of just really interesting. I enjoy, like, highly enjoy Hoopa Unbound. He's one of the strongest Pokemon. And then the whole thing where he summons up portals so you can get to other legendary Pokemon. Really cool. He's just a cool little trickster. He's got that smug smile, you know, you see right here. His design is really cool with all his rings and the whole genie idea. And that obviously leaves number 1 place to Celebi. Celebi is the best little onion guy out there. He's the cutest little onion boy. The Celebi movie, I remember, made me cry every time I had watched it. the part where he almost dies, and they feed him the little berries, and he gets so hyped. He gets so hyped about these berries, dude. The part where he's like, like, it's so good. I don't know. I've always had this special place for Celebi. He's such an adorable little guy. Grass types are one of my favorite types of Pokemon, and him being the only grass type on here except for Shaman, he definitely deserves to be up here. He's a cute little onion pixie. That's all Celebi is, a cute little onion pixie, and I love her. I love Celebi. But yeah, like if you cry every time. Like if you cry every time watching the Celebi movie, because I for sure did. And I might have to go watch it tonight. I might have to watch the Celebi movie tonight. Let's see if I get some tears. Can we get some F's in the chat for Glowl's tears? Alright, so I'm going to clean up this image here, and I'll be back with the final product in the outro of the video. Alright, so I kind of went through and cleaned it up. Obviously, it's not perfect, but just it's easier to see everyone. And I was thinking about it. If there's anything I would want to change, I'd probably throw Zeraora higher. But that might be it. Maybe Zeraora just a little bit higher than he is. I don't know where I'd put him. Maybe, if anything, I might put him in 8th place and then move everyone else down. But other than that, I can't really think. Like I said, if you guys want to do your very own, I highly encourage it. I'm not going to tag anyone or anything, but I would like to see you guys do it, and hope you guys liked it, you know? Let me know if you agree with my list. Let me know if you completely disagree with my list. I'd like to see what you guys think. Once again, shout out to Hoodlum Callum for creating this idea, this layout, and everything like that. Definitely go check his out as well. And with that being said, I'm going to head on out. Hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure you hydro pump that like button, overdose on X accuracy so you do not miss. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Thank you for coming by. Today was a really good day.